adjustments. Mm, all right, boom. Think we're back. Thank you. Thank you for the welcome back. That was interesting and strange. And I'll take it. How you doing, little bro? You doing good today, man? Every day's a good day. Hope y'all are doing good on TikTok, on Instagram, YouTube. I hit the correct buttons when it asked me, and it ended things. But we're back. Good morning, Owen. I hope everybody's having a spectacular morning as much as possible. That's a pretty big fact. Thank you, Owen. I'm going. If you are on Instagram, I'm on TikTok as Cetra. You are the letter you are Cetra, or I'm on YouTube, youtube.com/Cetra. But I'm going to jump off of Instagram. Thanks for being here if you have been here. All right, so I can check out the comments here. I think somebody asked how my morning was. Whoops, no, it's not the one I want. Morning is going swimmingly. Uh, I'm kind of testing out my time, so I was a couple minutes late getting online, and then had a couple of technical difficulties, but that was okay. The technical difficulties weren't that big of an issue for me. Here, let's pick you guys up over yonder. There we go. Wonderful. Thank you for being here. And but I was expecting that because I just started going live with Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. See, and but it was okay. It was a bit expected for that. I don't know. It's okay. I wasn't upset by the technical difficulties. I wasn't frustrated. I was like, I figured out whatever. It didn't hit me emotionally, so I stayed like positive and good. And then YouTube, it fell on that one, and like when I picked it up, it gave me the option to go back into the live or to end the stream, and I selected the button to go back to the live, but it ended the stream. And I was like, huh, well, and I tried to start it up again, and it gave me the wrong feed, like the wrong thing. And so, like, but I clicked that option and on purpose. So I did the wrong thing on purpose. And so I backed out of that one and I went back into it. So now we're live technically a third time on YouTube today. But not in hindsight, but while it's happening, I'm like, you know what? I'm actually kind of happy this happened because I was kind of curious what the numbers were as far as like people viewing for the jam versus after the jam. So I got that number count. It was close. It was in the 2,200 range, and so I was like, okay, well then my numbers for the other part of the day, well then that would be Alvarez because I've been wondering about that for the past I don't know how long. So it's always nice to get a curious question answered. So you can't really be upset. I can't be upset at the situation at all. I have to completely be thankful. I'm thankful that it happened. So a very good morning. I hope you're having a good morning as well. Am I Captain Hook? No, but you know what? You reminded me something. And I'm gonna do it right now. See, I'm not Captain Hook, but big booty butt. I took the son of a gun out, and I got his hook for my darn self. I made friends with the croc. It was a team effort. I learned something on I was at a Renaissance festival location. However, the house I was in, I was working there, and it was a bit of a, uh, I don't want to call it a school, but it was a bit of a school. Um, and I learned during those times that there was a particular type of group, and I honestly forget their names, and I forget where they were from, man. I do. I forget the technicals. However, I remember their fighting tactics because it was shown in their clothing. Their clothing was literally the garments from the people that they had conquered. They would literally do gashes in them, and they would wear pieces of the people that they had conquered to be like, yo, this is me, this is who I am, this is what I conquered. What else am I going to add? What you got that I can add to my outfit here? And in that, I took a couple cues from that. I'll tell you what, it's a pretty solid way of doing things. This has been meant to be on. So this guy coming right over here. Boom. I got that on there all the time. Thank you. Good morning, Jim. Know thyself. Said that answers my question. Deathless, just to let you know, I do have a video empowering women. It's on YouTube. However, on Instagram, it has 1.7 million views. And on TikTok, it's either in the 900,000 range or it hit a million. I forget. I think it hit a million. So, yes. Oh, I got a funny story to share with you. So normally, I've right. Anyways, I was working in a metaphysical shop. I would love to work at a metaphysical shop again. That's my dream. I can make money. I tell you what. Like, anyways, um, but I was working at this metaphysical shop, and on Sunday in particular, we were dead. I mean, outside, fucking traffic is so busy, it's backed up at the light, and there are people sitting in traffic like 5 hour, like 5 o'clock rush hour in front of the metaphysical shop. So I start taking all the other places are closed except the Chinese place. You know, Chinese place is always open. So I open doors. I bring stuff outside and books and stuff to be like, yo, we're open. I got tapestries of the Divine Mother and all sorts of good stuff. And in the windows and everything, you know, like these ones right here. You see them right there. You know, I had those in the window, and so like people could see like real clearly. And then for some reason came and figured out, not figured out, but what I wound up experiencing is that women, primarily and only women, started coming Mondays and Tuesdays around the lunch hour. And they would be like, I've only got 30 minutes. I'm on my lunch break. Or they'd be like, I don't have a lot of time. Every single one would do this. And they were like, I like to get a reading. And I'd be like, boom, I throw down the reading. I would be like, do you want a free sound? They call it the sound bath with the sound bowl. I got my sound bowl and stuff. You know, would you like a free sound bath? Because I offer those for free. I'm not going to charge for that. That's a healing energy. If you put money with love, it cancels the love. Greed just entered in. Mine, me, gluttony, greed. I don't give a fuck how you want to label it, but money destroys love. It destroys the magic. It does. It takes it away because you don't need to believe in what you can do if you believe in a dollar bill that you can trade for what you want. Okay, so literally they come in, I do that, I go do the reading, I do a reading for them, and they be like, boom, they got whoa, and like people be like, you're on point, but they're usually not given a bunch of details, generally speaking, in reading. And then I'd be like, you want the sound bath? And they'd be like, sure. So I had like the inner sanctuary because we have the shop, and then like we have the inner room, and then we have the storage room. And so like the inner room had the stones and this, set up like this is, and in this kind of a fashion. And so I go do the jam for them. Look, one lady, I'm not kidding you. And this was not just one, it was one of many. And but this one lady, she said, um, do I have it up, I have it up there. I have it's up on the altar. It's this board with Africa carved out. Africa's carved out on the board, and I put it in the center of my portal. Um, Not the one that she stepped in, but into another one, like that day or the night before. And I did the sound jam, the sound bath for, and I go around, I walk around in a circle with the sun bowl over the stones. And she literally, when I finished, she said, when I closed my eyes, I was standing in a tall field of grass. I could see it moving and I knew it was animals. I was in Africa and I turned around and I saw a lion. The lion was standing directly in front of me, but I had no fear. And it was so peaceful. It was so nice. Whatever other words she elaborated on the experience, but it was all positive and good. And then it ended, and she opened her eyes, and she was back in the room. That fucking happened. Like not she had like vision, like out of body, full on, transported to Africa spiritually, and had the ability for spiritual sight. I didn't need a teacher. I didn't tell her to think anything. I didn't put any ideas out there. I didn't say nothing about Africa. Nothing, man. Nothing. She was the emotion coming off. This shit was real. And like that was that's some pretty special stuff. But the point being, out of all of it, was the ladies were going to church with their families on Sunday. That's why they wouldn't stop into the shop, because the husband would be like, you're into blah blah blah. You don't know it because people won't believe it. But there's a lot more psychics in this world in it than people know. People are stuck in cages from other people. They don't have a freedom to speak about what's on their heart. So they had to come when they weren't with their family. They had to come and see what the spiritual stuff was about. What is this divine mother I'm looking at in the window? What's going on? I need to go investigate because if I take my family, they're going to judge the shit out of me. That, yeah, it's a reality of that one. So yeah, man. I mean, there's this one time in my life, and I say one time, but the time lasted for more than 10 years, well over 10 years. And I thought the most worst evil could come from my dad, aka a man. And then I lived life a little bit, and I saw that same evil come from a woman. Oh, it's not restricted to my family. It's not restricted to gender. It's not restricted to anything. Bad intentions, a ugly heart, and it just, if it's not destroying what it's got, it's just waiting for the right moment it wants to do it in. And that's why I do my best to help you, encourage you to know who you are, to trust yourself, and to follow you. Follow you. Follow your heart in this world because that's not going to mislead you. To understand the difference between a passion and something that is lustful versus deciding I choose to love something. I choose to care for something. I choose that my love be ever enduring. And that means that I can't just give in to my base desires. I'm more than an animal. You're a human. Look, I'm going to be straight up. You eat however you want to eat. I ain't telling nobody how to eat. I'm not telling nobody how to eat. I'm just relating some stuff from my mom. Okay? It's from my mom. You eat however you want to eat. But this is what my mom would say. A horse ain't got no choice. A horse ain't got no choice. It's an animal. You're a motherfucking human. Close your mouth when you eat. Come on now. Use your brain. Grow up. You're more than an animal. You're more than an animal. And believe it or not, that was for my mom. This will be for me. You're more than human. You're more than human. You're divine. You can be divine. You are divine. Your heart is the divine spark. It's the spark plug to your whole freaking system getting going, to chakras, the different gears that you can shift into. I could be the poet singing in life, or I could be the warrior defending everything I need, or I can be the king guiding forth righteousness in every way and establishing justice where there is none. The ability to shift into what you want to do is completely yours. Seize it by searching and learning about what you love and what you hate. Hate means to strongly dislike. Let me clarify where the bad word comes in. Malicious. Malicious is to strongly dislike with the intent to do harm. Malicious is where we get into bad actions. To hate something does not mean to destroy it. I hate dirty dishes, so I wash them. There's no dirty dishes? Good. That's my solution. The hate doesn't generate an emotion as much as it generates action. It's all about action. Everybody running their motherfucking mouth as much as you hear me go. That's what they're doing to you all goddamn day. And all you got to do is something decisive by making a choice in your own heart. And then they can't stop that because all their talk is a bunch of air, unmanifested matter that they ain't focused on using. Margaret Buckley, we are getting started. We started at 4 today, technically 4:05. And so those blessings went from 4 till 6. And I'm trying to get started at 3:33. That's what I would like to get started at, but still working out some technical difficulties. So we're shooting between 3:33 and 4 a.m. Eastern time at this point. Before we were starting at 5 a.m. Eastern time. So those blessings did go out. And actually, that video is being processed right now and should be able to be replayed actually maybe even currently right now. because the YouTube spliced out for that, and we went and jumped back live after that happened. So look, get dough 54321. Get dough. I'm reading his words, so you could hate me all you want. I don't care at this point. The nigga you got to during ancient Egypt times to put a spell on somebody. Look, I won't put a spell on anybody. I fall more into the summoner category of things. So you got a beef with somebody, all I need is a name. I got two places on my altar. I got a blessing and I got to deal with that crap. And I put it in that spot. And then that problem solved. That's as easy as that goes. I might spell their name on paper, but that's about it. That's about it. Forsaken has been a bad morning. I did have a couple bad mornings, so I can relatively I can connect with you on more recent feelings than distant past feelings on a bad morning. And gosh, I do hate to say this, but it's gonna come out of my mouth. Roll with the punches because they're not really punches, but there's some shit changing really rapidly. There's things spinning together, and that's causing a lot of things to get very hmm, chaotic. And I told somebody 2 days ago, and I intend this to everybody who has a goodwill towards me. I don't know who has a goodwill towards me or not. I don't know if the person I'm talking to in the physical room, not that there's anybody else here, but just at any point, I don't know if they're real. I don't know if they have a positive will towards me. I don't know if they want to do me in bad and they're just smiling and grinning. I don't know. But those who do have a positive will towards me, you and yours, you good, no worries. Like there's gonna be chaos out in the world. There's gonna be chaos out there. Things getting changed up. I don't know. I feel like a flashlight from heaven, and I'm like, I come to Earth, and I got like my helmet on. My flashlight is jumped in, and I get my special flashlight on, and I put it on that mug, and then I'm like, y'all getting it? The laser pointer thing. You getting it? That's the one. Pay attention to that one. Fix that. Mm-hmm. Yep. Everything's gonna stop. I'm gonna put this on everything. I'm gonna do nothing. That's it. That's all I'm focused on right now. Until that changes, I'm not gonna do nothing different. And everything. So, sorry, not sorry, but it'll smooth out sooner than later. For those more connected, you'll go through things sooner. For those that are less connected, they go through it later. That's how you can pay attention to things in life. That's one thing I started paying attention to life. I could tell that some people were a little bit ahead, some people were a little bit behind. And I'm not talking about in smarts, I'm just talking about the shamanic journey in life. Some people got a few more clues. They're not exactly sharing the information, but I've been able to pay attention to people pretty darn good. And so I'm gonna follow something that makes good sense. I'm gonna follow the positive there. Forsaken. Okay, what happened at work? It's happening. It's happening. This has to happen. This is part of it. This is you're on a journey. You're on a spiritual journey with what's going on with your job in that situation, everything that happened, I'm telling you, including your actions, they were divine. I'm not BSing. I'm connecting with my own shit past 48 hours. Okay? Spiritual, real stuff that you're going through. We're definitely connected, like definitely on the friend, on the positive, on the ally, on that level. So we have a resonance of that heart energy. There's a coherence there in the consciousness and the great consciousness linking us together. So those experiences are going to link together. And what's happening, there are issues that have been ignored for way too long. And if those issues are going to continue to be ignored, the world going to work out something much better for you to make money. Whatever you got to do, it's gonna flip you up for the better. But if they're willing to fix those things and change a couple of bad habits, things might be kosher to stay. That's in their hands. The ball's in their court. They know now. They know now what they're gonna do. What they're gonna do. Because what they do is gonna tell you everything about who they are to the core individual, down to their heart, that tells you everyone you're around. Now there's no guessing, there's no giving them the bright chance of day. Oh, I thought maybe it might work, maybe they didn't know better. Fucking done. That's what the spirit does. It's going to bring forth what's been ignored. It's going to expose that stuff. And mama and papa, well, they want their kiddos to be in a happy place. I know that much. I know that much. Because if that wasn't true, then I'd be, my the, yeah, my experience is testimony against. God, I'm getting. What? I'll go right back to you for Forsaken, but Purple Buddy Rabbit. That's that's awesome. I am very connected with cats. Look, I had this kitten for a while, and all the jinglies, all the stuff, and all my skirts and sashes and tails, and like I got a real tail. It's a real deer tail, real high. That's why I mean cats. She like hanging off of everything. Shh, fucking. My whole hair, like I have a little, like usually I put bells. I got bells. Usually I put bells in my hair, and she'd be like ding 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 ding. Try to drink 2 or 3 times with nothing in my cup. I guess I must really be pretending without knowing. Like, I put more water in there yet. Thank you, Mr. Patterson. And there was this one time was living, I was living in an RV for a while, and and it's a 37-foot RV, and it wasn't a cat. We had a dog. We decided to take in a dog for a little bit, and I literally, I gave this dog a bath like every other freaking day, if not every freaking day. I don't give a crap. My house is not gonna smell like wet dog. It's not gonna smell like dog. Period. I'm not doing that. If I'm gonna live somewhere, that shit box, it can be in its own room, or like that room is. I'm not having fecal matter come into my living space. What the hell? No, can't. I got certain standards. If that I don't have the resources to meet. That's why I don't have any animals. I can't meet those resources. There's maintenance. There's maintenance and care. For me to have an animal and then to just ignore them, that's not possible. That's not possible. I can't stare at misery that I'm responsible for. No, we changing that. We changing that. That hasn't been asked in a while, and so I'll go ahead and shoot that out there. No religion for me. Um, I have a little bit of a motto: learn from all sources, belong to none of them. Learn from all, belong to none. See, when you join one, then they say you can't go talk to those other people. You only learn from us. Why the fuck do I have to go into fucking isolation because I decided to read a goddamn book? If I'm gonna go into hermit mode, mother, I'll go into hermit mode myself, and I'll exclude everybody equally. When you join a group, you pick a side. When you pick a side, you're stuck with a little trinket, and you're just following somebody else. But if you follow your own heart from the start, it's going to get you right where you want to go like a dart. I've had an interesting connection with animals. From growing up, I was connected to dogs. I don't care what dog it was. I don't care how mean it was. Um, I'll walk right up to them. Everything's fine. There was, I got, I started getting stuck into religion years pre 2012, pre like in 90s shit. I got in there like 90, yeah. I got in there a little bit and I kind of lost myself. And then a dog took a lunge at me, ripped a hole in my pants, but did not make contact with my skin. Then I went on the spiritual path. My life was normal. I went on the spiritual path, and dogs started getting all fucking nuts with me. But the people were extremely nice. Okay, cool. And then I moved to a different place, and dogs love me. Every dog loves me. But the people hate my guts. One location was north, one location was south. I mean, like, total kind of opposites, obviously. So I thought that was interesting. And then I got so far on my spiritual journeys because you have to get so far on your spiritual journey to where you kind of like do away with that. And so now that thing with the dogs, they're all pretty chill with me. Things are kind of back to normal, like growing up. It's pretty decent. And cats, well, cats look like the animals love me. They do. When I play my gong and stuff, and my other sound items, I've been at a beach for several days, and I literally look. I've had birds change their flight course to come visit me. And if you doubt that, I have a legitimate experience. It's not about flight. I am sitting on the ocean. I'm sitting on the sand. I'm sitting on the beach. The ocean is in front of me. And well, it's not the ocean. It's a huge lake, but it's water as far as the eye can see. So it is fresh water though. It's fresh water. So I'm sitting there, and then there's three large groups of birds and or ducks or whatever. I have my glasses far enough, and they're floating down the way. Okay, they're just sitting there, and they're just going with the current, close enough to the shore, but not so far out that I can't see. And they're just floating. They get to where I am, and they swim backwards against the current. The second group, the third group, and they stayed in front of me for no less than 20 minutes. They paddled against the current and stayed in the water directly in front of me for 20 minutes. A couple would start going off, and then one would go down and like bring them back and be like, nah, this is where we are right now. And that happened like I don't know, like three times. And the third time, like after the third time, they were like, okay, we could go down. We could go ahead and keep going down. It's beautiful, amazing stuff, man. And when you learn how to connect with life, like they love you for it. Life loves, like, right? I know where to scratch and itch, and it's just life, man. Like for cats, like especially cats, man. I don't know. I'm connected to those guys. Cats are very trainable. Because like you can't train a cat. I got a story for you. So I've said this one several times, but My I was living with somebody had their cats, and they were no less than like 12 years old, bro. They were old. They were old. They were old. They were up there. And these two cats fought. One bullied the other one for the food, and that's how they ate. Okay. Now I'm living in this place. I wake up earlier than everybody else. Generally speaking, that's what happens. So I'm gonna go to the kitchen and make myself some coffee if the kitchen's, a nice place. And so I did. And as I'm doing that, the cat comes out. Meow, meow, meow. And I'm like, well, obviously, you want some breakfast. Yeah, let's shoot you some breakfast. Boom, feed them breakfast. And they start going at each other, fighting over the food. I'm like, Psh, if I'm gonna feed you food, nope. So literally within a week or so, the person, which is a woman, who owns your cats, coming out, sees her cats at two different bowls next to each other, eating and not pushing each other away. And she says, out of her own volition, early in the morning, hmm, you can teach an old cat a new trick. And I'm the young one. I know exactly what I'm doing with life. When I find opposition that doesn't want help, then I stop helping. It's that simple. There's a saying that if you really love something, set it free. Let them go. It's taken me a lot of years to really understand that. I did it, but to understand it, oh, you see, when you love something, you control it. You want it to look exactly how you want it to look. You want to smooth out every imperfection. Oh, because I'm bad on it. Oh, smooth, proper. So I'm bad on it. But all that control has nothing, it has nothing to do with love. If I love the daisy growing in the field, I'm going to go look at the daisy. I'm going to observe its brilliance and its love and adore it and be happy. But the moment my love goes too far, I'm cutting down the trees. I'm destroying everything that's going to get in the way of those daisies from growing. And damn it, they better grow exactly how I want them to, or else I'm going to just destroy it and start over. See what happens? You saw what happened with loving and appreciating the view of stuff. And then, whoa, 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 whoa. Come on now. If you really love something, set it free, because your control is going to destroy its natural state of being. That's all. It's easy to walk away. It's a lot easier than people imagine. You just realize you don't want that no more. The universe responds. The universe responds with what you don't want. This is what I've been taught on the spiritual path, okay? Real talk. If you accept it in life, if you say, yeah, that's okay, I'll keep taking that as long as I get this or as long as I got that. Forsaken, bro. I'm checking TikTok right quick, and I'm going to give you complete access, all access as a moderator over on TikTok. Not that you need to, but I don't know. I just saw some comments. I just was like, what the hell is going on there? Yeah, just refresh it. It went out again, and I had to hit. It kept saying reconnect, reconnect. I can't do it, can't do it, can't do it, can't do it, can't do it. Finally went through. So yeah, just refresh the page. So Forsaken, it was. I've been saying this for a while, and okay. So for me in concerns to the pyramids, now this is actually, oh my god, I can't remember the specifics. Yes, I can remember the specifics. Oh my gosh. Our world is unnatural. I've read some stuff and it said our world is unnatural. That means it was engineered. There's this space around our planet that allows us to have an atmosphere. It's invisible, it's not physical. The pyramids around the world, around the entire world, all of the pyramids resonate at a different frequency. They're all meant as a different frequency. I received this download before I read the actual article that came out and reinforced, because to me when I got the download it made no sense. How do you collect many frequencies to create a resonance? Wouldn't you just want the same resonance multiplied? No, actually that's inaccurate. What I was told was accurate. According to science, when you have many different frequencies and you bring these together within the same play, especially if you have a surface like a mirror where they bounce back and forth from each other, you can create literal voids in space, otherwise known as portals. This is real. And what they did was they created pyramids all over the planet and they turned them all on. It created an environment around the planet. It created an environment around us that allowed us to live indefinitely because the literal energy in the atmosphere recharged our body. Those telomeres that are in our DNA, and it's the very end of it, they die off throughout our years. And when the telomeres used up, your life physically is over. They could stop those from decaying. It's been scientifically proven. You can't you can't extend the length of life, though you can slow the rate of decay, which would thus give you more time. But you're just slowing the rate of decay. You can't add to the telomere. That's what it's saying. That's what we're saying. Okay, so this is my reality that I figured out. And this is why, if you want somebody in your house like me, I'm actually going to do your body a lot of good. See, these are raisins. These were raisins I bought from the store. I did nothing special. From the hot south to the cold north, without AC, without fucking central, any fucking air shit going. And I always got a candle going. All right, grapes turn to raisins. They don't mold, they don't mildew, they don't turn to trash. Why? Because I slowed the energy, I slowed their rate of decay. If the grapes are affected from the energy resonating from all the stones that I wind up doing and working with, what do you think it's doing to my body? It's slowing the rate of decay. Why don't I go out and hang out everywhere? Because if I do, it's going to plummet my speed of death because of chaos here and chaos there and chaos there. So if I can't get to nature to connect with, I know the formula in totality of how to slow that rate of decay. And now, for me, all it is a waiting game. 184. If I could make it to 140 anything, I think could be a pretty fucking good mark to say, hey, I think this guy knows what he's talking about. But if I could make it to 184 years old, I think I might have the world's attention to say, you might want to try this out. There's people spending billions and billions of dollars trying to stay young. That motherfucker could come talk to me, and he'd have the formula. But he wouldn't want a formula. He just wanted treatment, service. I'm happy to do that for people. And it's as easy as the sound baths, man. And putting a severed head back in its place. There we go. I said that. She went fit right in there. Thank you for your help. Death Jam said, got a real question. What's your real question? I mean, yeah, it would. Everybody's trying to figure out how to live longer, and they're trying to do it scientifically, and they're leaving out the main fucking ingredient. Love, motherfucker. You think you're gonna live forever without love? That'd be a shit-tastic life. They got pleasure robots, but they ain't know how to program love because they don't even know what love is. They never experienced it. They've never embodied it, let alone create it. Fulfilling of deeds, of services that someone else needs is when it's just that. When that's all it is. That's not love. It's certainly helping and working and friends and all that, goes back and forth, you work and help and all that kind of happens. But I've lived with people and they told me years later, it's the only reason why we're hanging out. You could do this and this and this for me. If you couldn't do this and this and this, you wouldn't be here. For 3 years, I said, I'm in love with you. She said, I love you. And I would come back and say, I'm in love with you. For 3 years. And the only reason why I was there is because I could do this, this, and this. That's how much I can fake my own reality into existence. I could live in any mental world I want to. I could do anything I want while operating in this 3D your world crap that I'm not really living in, right? We're in the world, but we're not part of the world kind of shit like that. However that goes. Do you take your chains off before you sleep or do you sleep with yours on? So it was different. I've had different phases of necklace wearing. I had like a bunch. I had a lot, but they weren't metal. This one, I'm gonna get up and give you a show up close view. Okay, this one is like a now. This one is all one piece. That one's a do 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 do. And then these ones right here on my neck, those ones I leave. Those ones that don't come off. Well, one of them could come off, but I leave those ones on. I like to leave those ones on. And but generally speaking, like this is if I'm interacting with other people, I'm wearing this. If I'm going out somewhere, I'm wearing this. But do I sleep with this one on? I used to. I used to sleep with it on. But now what I do is my staff here is magnets and quartz crystals and obviously all the copper wire. If I didn't mention it, it has magnets. If I did, whoops. But yeah, it's got magnets in there. So with the metal, even though it's not exactly, I don't think it's magnetic, but in any regard, metal to metal, it's brass. I put it on there so it can get that same kind of metal to metal energy, resonance, vibration. It can get the vibration from that magnetics, from the field of energy pulsing off of there. So this energy from this from this piece is the staff's energy right here on my chest. And this one I've been sleeping with. And these ones, I actually haven't been wearing them too often, but I wore them today. I felt like wearing them today. So, things change. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Um, but things always shift and change. It's people generally expect me to do the same thing always. And I might be following a very similar pattern. I might be seeming like I'm kind of doing the same thing, but I gotta change things up after a while. I get kind of, I get bored with something after too long. Oh, cool for a second. Yeah, do anything you want over there. I don't care. Like anything you want, I don't care. That's a compliment. I appreciate it. Am I real? Here, this is something I it's my own. Am I real? Hello, my friend, fellow, and welcome to Cetra's Angelhood. We're living in the age of Aquarius, and your mind may be a little curious, though please feel free to go delirious as we follow this harmonizing chorus, tantalizing that inner force. You can be anything you want to be, and you can dream up anything you desire to imagine. Your mind is the key, opening the heart to see, allowing the unity of both thought and deed. You are an electromagnetic individual. The electricity is when you are emotionally active, and the magnetism is what you choose to do every day because that's what you're going to draw to you. And when you're emotionally active and you do something, you are reinforcing ever so more powerfully what you want your future to be. Yes, it is that simple. It is that real. And the truth of what you can do with magic, mathematical application, generating incarnate creation kinetically, of what you can do with what do you do? Everybody says learn how to meditate, learn how to do this, learn how to do that. But what do you do at the end of it? Yes, you get peace, but what do you do with it? Change the future. That's where your power, your love exceeds the grasp of money. Money has to buy and plan and scheme and love. Why? Love is everywhere. Love is life. Miracles have happened from our biblical past to the thousands of years past in India, all the way right into our modern day accounts of not being able to explain things which we should be able to. Yes, that is the purpose of high magic working, is to affect a new future, because that is what we were all commanded with last time I checked. As in heaven, also on earth. Heaven is the brightest, greatest, beautiful thoughts you could imagine. And the earth is our reality. With a heart of love, our reality is going to be made so much more faster than money could ever try to organize, let alone be made by a person. Full in. Thanks for the laugh. Forget Demolition Day just flashed against my face. The bald guy, the dude, and kind of talks like this. Yeah, he comes in, he says, big home. No way, I was thinking of the police guy. That's the other guy. It's the other dude with the tall hat and thing, and he's wearing like the robe like garments, all shiny and shit. You know that dude, and he's all controlling shit and stuff. Yeah, that the fucked up shit. Big home. You know what? I want to share with y'all one of my loving secrets. When I hear somebody tell me what to do, I already know. I already know. They're a controller, bro. They're a control. They want to push buttons, bro. That's all they want to do with life. They just want to push buttons. Oh, let me remind you that I don't care about your control by living my life and loving my life at every moment of it. Ooh, someone said they're scared. Boo. Or it's okay. Okay. See for a second. See, I never get to push the button. Everyone else seems to like to push mine though. That's why I found different interests. This was where I started adapting and exploring life by the direction of other people. I used their attacks to send me on a spiritual journey that there was no one else around to do for it. But I know what I'm supposed to do in this world. I tell you, I really do. So when they started pushing my buttons, anxiety is a pretty tall indicator that buttons are actively being pushed. Okay? Okay. So I decided a long time ago in my life that if I have anxiety over something, then fuck it. I'm not going to do it no more. You know what? Coffee was causing me anxiety. My coffee pot broke. This happened. Yo, don't get it twisted. Somebody wanted to send me a coffee pot, and the one I wanted. And I said, I'm more concerned about this state of being. And they gave me a donation. So, depending on what my future is, I might be able to buy my favorite coffee pot. But I don't know right now. It's gonna be a pivot moment, and I'm gonna have to make a call, and I'll make the correct call. Spirit will guide me, and then I'll know what I can do. But I can't be foolish until that moment. I know the moment's coming. I know that much. So, whatever somebody's causing me anxiety over, I'm going back to the coffee. The coffee was causing me anxiety. So I said, screw it. I'm drinking water. You know what? It's not even hot water. Screw it. I don't care. I don't care. I was tired of being frustrated. I was tired of spending 30 minutes, 45 minutes. I was tired of dealing with death and with that. And you know what? After 2 weeks, it's probably was, maybe it was 2 weeks, maybe 7 days, a week to 2 weeks. We'll put it in that ball range. Within that much time, I had enough consistent irritations in making coffee that I said, you know what? Screw it. I'm done. Hot water's good for me. I ain't even looking forward to coffee. Screw it. It's off my list. I don't care about it. I have the money to go buy coffee, and I could go buy a cheap coffee pot. I do. But you know what? There's going to be a pivot move in my future, and I have what I need for that pivot. So, I gotta sit tight right now, and I'm good with water. I'm not feeling. I don't need to go spend the money. I don't need to go grab what my passion was. Why? because I decided that button doesn't work anymore. Guess what? My laptop has about 30% of the keys that don't work. So if I want to search something, type anything, or do anything, I can't. I used to have a keyboard. It got left in somebody's vehicle, and I don't have a keyboard anymore. So you know what? I learned that just because the controller has a button to push, if it doesn't work, there's no reaction. Huh? Why isn't it working? Why no sound? Oh shit! It fucking turned on. I wasn't pushing the power button, but you get the idea. I could hit the letter T on my laptop all I want. The T is not going to come out of my laptop unless I get another keyboard. So I learned how to make my own buttons invalid. So they could push all they want. I didn't. What you pushing? It's not connected to me. People know how to hot wire a car. Well, I know how to unwire my heart from my brain concerning one thing. Easy enough. Gone. Don't care about that one. If you never done that before, start with something small that you like. It's called fasting. I ain't telling you to fast from whatever, whenever someone else is doing it. If you like to smoke cigarettes, fast from cigarettes for 24 hours. You going right back to it. You got your pack, you bought a new pack, you're waiting to open it. In 24 hours, you go ham on it. You smoke 4 packs in a day if you want. Who you only do, it doesn't do as much as you want. It doesn't matter. But by fasting, by stopping from something that we enjoy for some set amount of time and achieving that, teaches us that we can stop anything. And if I can stop something I love, then I can sure as hell stop something that I abhor. Pretty powerful person. You are. Yes, you are. You are. If you believe. If you do not believe, well, then you will live within the confines set for yourself. But if you believe, if you truly believe, then other people's opinions do not have an impact because they are opinions and they are not scientific. They are not real. They're not working with the scope of belief. So why do I listen to their comments? I don't. I understand I'm in this mental mind space. Why am I going to go over here and fuck with someone? I'm not messing with that. That's circular, spherical. It's a whole nother thing going on. This is where I'm focused, bro. Like, and it is a shift from an animalistic sense of chasing our passions to wanting to be responsible, to learning how to avoid stupid. Because that's what it comes down to. I don't care if they have billionaire, millionaire, or any other air behind their name. Stupid is stupid. Stupid can take advantage of others stupid and make money off of it too. I've watched it with my own 2 eyes. Anybody could get something they want. Don't mean I need to have anything to do with them. I'll learn wisdom from any source. I don't care. You be devil, angel, God, Ra, yay. I'll learn from it. Personal hit, whatever it be, I'll learn from it. I learn from everything. Because if I'm not learning, then I'm just having fun. If I'm just having fun, then I know I'm bound to trip up. It's bound to happen. Guaranteed to happen. Guaranteed. To know thyself. Look, I've um, like straight up, like I've got, in case of emergency, I have I have another month's rent. I do want to move. I don't want to be here no more. I'm gonna get out. I want to move somewhere else. That's a fact. But if need be, I do have a month's amount of rent covered, and I got about $100 for food. That's what I have available to me that I found out last night about. I didn't check. I didn't know that much was there. I had no clue. So on that accord, I have what I need. And the lady, like I mentioned earlier, she did. She sent a sizable amount, but that it put me where I'm like financially I'm good. Like I can go get food. I don't have to worry about just I can make things happen. Do I need a coffee pot? Yeah, I do need a coffee pot. And I don't want to take the money I have to go buy it because well like I mentioned earlier. So I don't know if you watched that movie, bro. Jim, bro. I don't know if you watched that movie, but I watched it yesterday. I'm gonna get you, sucker. Oh my god. There was a part where it's like there's this epidemic, not epidemic, but they're like, there's this problem with all these youths that are going around and buying all these gold chains, and there's so many problems. There's all these people buying the gold chains. Oh my god. And but that is so true. People don't kill themselves over silver, but they do kill themselves over gold. Gold fever is real. I've met people. They if they if they did not get tinged by it, they told me of personal stories, firsthand account of another person they were with that went through it. So like, yeah, that shit's yeah, and then of course the Aztecs, you know, the conquistadors and all that, fucking slaughter, you know. Oh my god. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Fish cat. Thanks, Owen. I give you a rib. Actually, check this out. So you're like, I saw the silver cross. So in this speaking, in the ceremony that we read over, it mentions a silver key and a golden lock. Under here, that is actually a silver ankh. That's actual pure silver ankh right there. So whether it can be seen too well or not. But yeah, I'm a fan of silver. The one thing that I would like of gold uh, is a bell. It could be tiny, it could be thin, whatever, but a solid gold bell. For a chakra, it's for shamanic uses. That's about the only gold thing I want. Am I a hermit or an astrologer? I summon. I use portals and do summonings. That's what I figured it out. I mean, I didn't start off thinking that in the beginning. Like I do healing and other stuff, but I don't concoct like spells. I will be inclined to get a particular herb or whatever and have a proper little puja, a little fire, a little burning to go along with the prayer. Most definitely, I'll get some correct elements and I'm incense or whatever going. Um, but I certainly do. I lived by the stars for so long uh, that now I don't even know that it's the full moon or the new moon or whatever, and I'm doing something out of place. And I'm like, why am I doing this? And then I check the moon, and it's like it's a new moon or a full moon, and I'm like, oh, it's literally the next night. And I'm like, yeah, I'm usually 24 hours. I, that's when I do mine 24 hours before it comes in because I like literally, I'm literally pulsing at that vibration. And that's what I found on the spiritual course. Okay. You are the greatest talisman. We've talked about stones as far as putting our emotions into stone, okay? Transference. And we are the greatest talisman. So, with layers, we can do way more. And that's what it's about, concentrating on one thing. And that's why I did go according to the chart. I haven't looked at the charts or the thing. I don't know when the next new moon is. I don't know what the sun's up out to. I don't know. I ain't keeping up with nothing right now. I'm not going outside and looking and saying, oh, I'm not doing nothing right now on that regard. I'm completely in the energy. And going forward, that turning yourself into a talisman when you choose to live your life by a particular formula, especially one that's ancient, anyways. But when you live your life by a particular formula every single day and you do it for 3 years straight, guess what? You don't got to think about it anymore. You don't got to process it anymore. You don't got to give it any, like, you, your brain can, and you take care of that while you're taking care of something else. We're amazing people. These are layers of our own talisman, our own totem pole, our own Jed pillar. You're the Jedi, the Jedi. You very much of stability. It can adapt to anything. What? You're talking about a solid becoming a liquid. Darn Skippy, and if we need to get hot and evaporate into the misty air, we could do that too. And when we get too high of ourselves, we'll just reach the top and fall back down to the bottom. Splish shitty splash. Thanks, Know Thyself. That's really awesome. I appreciate it. And see, and this is just me. I'm sharing mine. I'm just being out there. This is why it's like, if I'm honest, for me, I'm honest. I put all my cards on the table. I can accept a good thing. But how dare, how could I could never, I couldn't live with myself. I couldn't live with myself to have this little extra over here and be like, oh, give me more. I don't have anything. That would be wrong. I, that's how other people live. That's how other people live every single day. How can they live with themselves? I don't know. I don't think like that. I didn't choose to do that. I don't do those things. So I don't know and I don't care. That's why I know I'm a happy person because I have not worked things from my birth. I have not worked things like that. If I did something that somebody didn't like, then gosh dog it, I was put into a situation I had nowhere out. So I had to be the bull in the corner, bro. You getting the horns, that's the only way, because that's the only way out is through you. You could have been a lot easier. You just moved aside. I would have walked away. I would have ran away. Zero incident. From gifts to getting out of Dodge. Oh, that's cool. Thanks, Mood Bear. Most definitely. I'm figuring you got my email already. And I'll just put it there just in case. But boom. What? Mr. T, sucker. Yeah, Mr. Booker T. I love Booker T. Brah, that was dude. Ah, I did put up a short video. I think it's the last one I put up. It's a short video, and it does have a clip from the movie. And I kept watching the movie. I was like, oh my god, I can't believe all this is in there. This is freaking hilarious. The movies. I could see how there's a lot of people who are going to get really offended at it, but I don't live in that world, so I'm a '90s kid. Okay, I grew up in. I know everybody grows up in their own time, and that's how we wind up, really becoming. So I'm just accepting diversity. That's yeah, I'm accepting diversity. I hope you get that. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Jim. Thanks, Jim. Thank you. Thank you, Owen. You're very kind. Okay, RyGT9VF said you should go live on stage. You're great, very talented. I appreciate it. Okay, so I'm being serious here. Now, there's two options. Number one, I need a business manager. I've been looking for a business manager for not that long. I've been aware I need a business manager for like 7 months now, since like the beginning of the year. Okay, so like yeah, about 7 months now. So either A, I find a business manager, they look at my shit, boom, bing bang bottle, we move it, everything's moving up. Or option two, which you know, options are great. Option two is a place where I could set up as a metaphysical shop because essentially there's the availability to sell product and there's the availability to do ceremonial healing, sound bowl, gong, um, magical kind of healing kind of stuff. And I gotta tell you his name. His name is Dr. Joe Dispenza. Dr. Joe Dispenza. Dr. Joe Dispenza. This dude, this is why I kept doing what I'm doing with ever much more zeal because I had been doing what I'm doing. I had already had success with it. And this dude comes out with a documentary explaining how putting your mind in all these different states can actually create results. He actually shows test results. If you're a scientific kind of a person at all, or you geek out on that, like the dude shows all the hard data, explains it, and he's like, he does his best and he does a good job. But if you got a sharp mind, you could pick up more that he's saying than I can. He's using, anyways. But he and in the last episode, he shows you how to do the whole thing. He shows you how to do it. The whole thing. It's one season. I don't know, 14 episodes or something, 14 or 16 episodes, something like that. It's one season, and it everything he shows with a scientific backing, not using scripture, not using all this bubble, not using a staff or a sword or any of this kind of stuff, but as a legitimate doctor with provable, successful results. I say, shit, it's the same stuff I'm doing. You can work this magic thing however you want to. You could do it with science. You could do it with this flavored chocolate, strawberry cake. It's still some yummy mudda ice cream. Mm. I don't care what flavor it is. Still great and yummy. Mm, 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 mm. Yeah. But the metaphysical shop, the place as a metaphysical shop, would double as the stage because every single wall, every place, I've done it before. I have video and everything. And essentially, every single place is a different backdrop. Okay? And I even have a system for changing the backdrop in the like in whichever room you could change where you go. So like right now we feel like we're in a tomb, right? We feel like more so maybe like in a tomb or something. And with like the easiest setup and in no time at all, I mean moments, you could change it to where like you're looking at the pyramids from outside or something. And you're outside now. Or in a temple. And essentially, the entire metaphysical shop is now the place. And you have a sign on the door, and it says, "By this is a live recording place. by entering, you consent, you give your consent by entering, you give your consent to be filmed. And uh, and then literally we can either a save all the video for however long and then compile it into episodes, or we can bring in a professional crew from the start and have everything like, because I'm sick and tired of everybody doing it in the dark. Fine, you want to go find some hole in the wall and hide and do it? Go ahead. But I want to share. I want to, because I do readings for people, and one person may connect to it and they're really getting a lot out of it. And I don't ask questions because it's online, it's public. You don't know who's watching or listening, and so I just do a literal blind read for when somebody wants to read. That's what, just it's a little blind read. That's it. Generally, I think I asked one question of somebody yesterday, and but I did speaking generally, I do blind reads, and and my brain took a massive left. So I'm gonna let that happen because that hasn't happened in a while. Whew, feels nice. If you want to remind me what I said, you can, and I'll pick up. But if you don't want to, I don't mind. I'm not trying to chase it. Do you ever, Nelson 1409? Do you ever feel your destiny change? Oh, ha! I was changing it because of the spelling. Do I feel my destiny change? I get the omens. Ha! Look, I said I get the omens. All right. Look, I set the phone down. The cup was next to it. This thing was like this. It was. I set the phone. What did you hear me go? I didn't hit the phone. The cup. I set the phone down, and the thing fell over. As I said, I get omens. So literally, I get omens right in the moment. And there's more that at this point I tap I that I can utilize to confirm that my path forward is correct. I have taken the construct of a pendulum and I have had it compromised. Okay, I had the pendulum, used the pendulums on the regular basis. They were accurate hands to the T, told me the truth when other people were lying. And then at some point in my journey, pendulums went out the window. I'm getting false readings left and right, right and left. I gotta have one charge to fit to father. I gotta have one charge to mother. I'm gonna get each one's answer, and they could be different. They may tell me what I shouldn't do so that I do it because that's going to create the better thing to happen. Okay? So I when it let's just say I got too uh too much anxious trying to figure out a solution on a solid pendulum. So at this point, I got an inner working. I've transmuted the physical swinging stone into this and that and that and that and that and this. So I could always find my true north no matter what happens. I know which way it's going to go forward. But yeah, um, do I feel it change? The feeling really comes in with acceptance. Peace exists because it allows me to think about what's coming in. So then, what I can think about what's coming in, the omens and this and that, dot, dot, dot. So at that point, at acceptance, then feeling does kick in. So that would, but normally it doesn't just start with a feeling. I have gone numb to feelings. I've gone numb to feelings. Balls to the walls. Let's fucking let's. Is it real? Is it gonna break? Is it gonna shatter? Was it an eggshell or was it real? I'm gonna find that out real quick, and that's just my nature. And feelings have always steered me wrong. I lived with somebody for 8 years, and for 8 years they said, I feel this way, and their feelings are valid. However, for 8 years, every single freaking time, okay, maybe not every time, I'm exaggerating by a few, but every freaking time, it was because they did not understand the real situation. If they understood the real situation, they wouldn't feel the way they feel. They'd be happy. That's where I learned to stop knocking my head against walls, man. It took me 8 years of consecutive doing that. And I learned to just accept when I see what it is. I work with what I work with. And feelings, the gut, the heart, the mind, these are all calculators. These can all become very precise. These are instruments to be utilized. Feelings, that's the fuel. The emotion is the electricity. It's simply fuel. If you ever seen Back to the Future, at a certain point, Doc's like, I did this and this with it. It doesn't matter. You could just throw anything in this thing and it'll take it. Yep, that's good too. Any biodegrading thing, throw that in there. It's good. It works as fuel. Water. Great, great question. Great question. Nelson 1409. And great. I get the 1409. Nice. Nice. Euro Gentle Warrior. Bro, what's up? Where do I get my inspiration from? Well, I do get a little bit of it from like, different parts of medieval Europe, that's for sure. History, knights, all that kind of stuff. I got blood going back to France and Spain. My great. I don't know how many greats. I forget. Was Cortez? Yeah, the one that did all that things. So I got Aztec in me as well. Blood, and Cherokee, and so I get inspiration from all over the world. India, um, and tribal really. That's what I've learned is the face of the world has been just like the cycles of the ages are of like the bronze and the silver and the gold and all these different ages. And we look at our world now and we have a little bit of everything. We have a little bit of everything. It's interesting how the ages of the past have occurred all the way down to our days, though I like to use as much as I can that's authentic to what it is to inspiration. Um, what don't I use would be a better question. Gosh, I'd have to think about that. What don't I use for inspiration? Bad stuff, you know, just like bad stuff. I, anything making people feel bad stuff. No, don't do none of that stuff. Okay, Owen Snelson. I com- I completely agree with that. He said you should absolutely start a business. I need a business partner. I need a business partner. I'm not going to do this alone. I told the universe. I told the universe, and now I'm telling you, I refuse to continue walking alone. I need a friend. I need somebody to talk to in the spirit. I need somebody who's just gonna freaking be like, okay, all I'm gonna do is give you money, and there's your place. Make me money. If we make money, then I stay interested. If we don't make money, then I start walking away. Okay, I know where we stand. Let's get going. Shit, but at least somebody who's a partner. I need a partner in this. I refuse to do it by myself. This is as much as I'm doing by myself. This is much. I'm doing enough by myself. Already. I've been doing it, and I got to have somebody to bring along with me, man. I got to give some blessings. I got too many good blessings. I got too much goodness to just keep to myself, man. You know, it's just some stuff I wanted to say, but you know, I ain't doing this alone. I said that. So that's a part of the idea of like, you know, a new start. Boom. Let's fucking get shit going, man. Sweet. Thanks, know thyself. All this will certainly be checking that out. So, Euro Gentle Wario, actually, I've done this. I did exactly what my idea is and was. I actually did it. I went into a metaphysical shop that was closing up. It's on record in the books. A lady came in and wrote a news article on me for the paper, or at least it's on the website or whatever. Whatever the case, the company. I looked at the books prior to me coming in when this happened. I was there for 10 months. Okay, I looked at their books. Their highest grossing month of total income brought in of sale from sales was $1,000+ during December. Other than that, it was down to $200 to $500 a month max total. They weren't making enough money to pay the bills. Maybe, probably not. I came in, I did a 6 hour Oracle Tarot full on reading for the lady, for the owner. She allowed me to give it a go. I had full run. I got to do it how I wanted to do it. She had the products already in there. The register was there. All that stuff was already set up. And I had full reign. I had full run to do whatever I wanted to otherwise. I even reorganized the structure of the place. I left some places where they were, but I reorganized a good portion of it. Oh yeah. And that was acceptable. It was good. I created the sanctuary within the inner portion. As they put it all together and brought that all together, and we went from making, the first month I was there was 750. The second month was 1,000. The third month was more. The fourth month was like 2,000. We hit a point where we lost internet. So for like a while, not just a day, a while, we didn't have internet. So, or some shit happened. I don't know, whatever happened. So we were screwed on that one. So that month we took a massive dip. And I got up to the point where we were getting like three to, we're making. You just kept going up and up and up. And then the owners from other metaphysical shops started coming in, and they were like, "Yeah, I own this one," and talking to me and stuff. And I was like, "Why are these people coming in?" They came in and they came in and they came in, and I'm looking at our books and I'm thinking, "Oh, because they ain't making no money. Everybody's coming here for real fucking magic, for real fucking love, for real fucking connection, for not that bullshit behind the counter in a closed dark room shit." I'll fucking make money. There's a market in the world for me. Oh shit. That's a fact. And I want to say that me, that's you. You be you. And you decide that by focusing on you, by following your heart and chasing what you love. That's what's going to bring something into focus. It's going to bring a whole bunch of different things, and all those different elements are going to create something new. And only you can discover that creation. Only you can create it, because it's your personal interests, it's your personal desires, it's where your heart leads you to go that brings those elements together. And it takes time to go on that journey. It takes patience. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to be right here in this room. Not much is going to change, but I'm going to have experiences from day to day. I'm going to have experience to learn from. I need to pay attention to what's happening and see how those complement each other. Why I had to go do that to learn that to get to that and all. If we did not experience the basics, we wouldn't know how to work anything complicated, or at least keep up a smooth operation with it. I don't know, maybe not. That could be a really bad analogy. Some people's brains, they work really great not knowing the fucking basics at all, because that's all just auto processing. There's a way to focus the mind so that it's just focused on that one thing. And so that's not a bad thing. Anyways, bad analogy. I'll say that much. JK beats DTV. Like, I am chaos, love, order, happiness, rage, a little less rage, but I'm a happy person. I learned a long time ago I'm a happy person. And that's why I tell everybody to live one vibrational energy. Because the last time I lost myself, it took me, it was hard to get there, but I remembered I'm a happy person. I wake up happy. I don't wake up with no problems in my head. I wake up thinking, what's going to happen today? I'm going to go to school. Who knows who I'm going to run into? What's on the menu for lunch? I don't know. What do you know? I was going to find that out today. Woohoo. I'm a happy person. It's other people who make me sad and make me upset. It's other circumstances that people hide from me that cause me to get frustrated. So as soon as I notice that those things and emotions are popping up for me, scientist, investigator, they're on the scene. Mm-hmm. Now, emotions might be broiling over here or whatever, but when the scientist and the investigator are working, that emotion got no, they got no say. They ain't talking. They hushing up. They're not looking at nothing. They don't got no. Only those two are working on the case, and until they wrap up and solve all the loose ends and put the final picture together, then that's when I can come back. And now I know what to do with this situation because now I'm not emotional about it. I processed it. I am human. I do have feelings. I do need to process them like water through filtration. It has a process. And if you didn't know, here's something very interesting and very factual. You can look into it. Now, water is a very intriguing thing. If you take elements out of water, yes, elements, that are in, because there's different components within water, they measure different things. If you take things out of water, the water becomes thirsty and it starts trying to absorb elements. We're all very familiar with that kind of situation, right? Now, here's when you take a step farther, which is very, when we drink that water that's been filtered, it's thirsty. It's drawing forth elements. So when it goes through our body, it's literally drawing elements out of you. It's not giving you anything. It took energy from you at a molecular level and you pissed it out. Literally, that's what happens. We need to remineralize the water after it's been filtered so that it has healthy components. And then when we drink it, those healthy components, they go into our body and the byproduct is pretty darn empty. Some real water science stuff. Jim, dude, yeah, that'd be freaking cool, bro. Like that dude, yes, 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 ba-da-da-da-da, dude. That would be kind of cool, but I can't afford a building or anything. I can't afford the space. That's I can bring in the people. I'll say it. I can tell you because it was my experience, and this is what happened when I was at the metaphysical store. We had a Google. name, registered business, the right tax number, whatever stuff, hooked up, all that stuff. And so we're registered as a business, as a metaphysical store through Google. So when somebody pulls up metaphysical store looking for some tarot cards, I literally, in multiple places, not just in that was a storefront that I was able to work out of, but I have been able to draw at that place. People came across from from another state. They made a journey. They made a whole special trip to come. They spent hours, spent the whole day, and shoot into the evening. Oh my gosh, it was just, it was amazing. They were so happy that they came and went there. And now, I mean, cross platform. Well, YouTube, I don't have any videos at 1 million views yet. So I did say yet. But on TikTok and on Instagram, I've got multiple million view videos. So, like, plus all of this stuff. So, yeah, man, like, literally. I've, I've got the formula of success, but I just need somebody that I don't somehow shit can just compliments, right? Compliments like a coffee mug in a hand with water. It's still good. I'm happy. I love my water. If you could taste the water that I wind up um, filtering, it's thick. It's when you drink it, you actually feel your body feels like feels good. I've literally this is the only thing I've bought 3 times. Other things I bought twice since it's screw it. I'm not buying a third one. But the filtration system that I have, it alkalines the water and all that good stuff. Like yeah, it's just man, yeah, it's pretty big. Thank you, Owen. Most and it's like little by little. How old was I when I came up with that idea? I'm probably way off of that. Gosh, I just mentioned a whole lot of ideas. Um, thanks, Kenny. Uh, as to the hectonator, the hectonator 9677. I don't know which idea, if it was a water idea or the shop idea. Oh, and you're correct. It is passion, man. It is passion. Cause like, yeah, I've really tamed my anger a lot. Like I really focused that into another direction. But that's it. I know when to isolate. I know when to keep to myself. How do I know when things are gonna happen? I said it earlier, man. You turn the body into a talisman, and you put many layers. You create many layers on that talisman. It's not just one. It's many layers on that talisman, and that allows you to shift. All of those are ingredients. That's the alchemist. I don't know. People want to write, okay, okay. I don't mean this. I don't mean this bad to anybody. I gotta say, I'm trying to think of a way to say this in a good way. I like tattoos on people are cool. I like seeing them. I think they're great. I used to be with someone and that they got tattoos all over. They were great. I was like, let's get you more. They're awesome. Like whatever. But me, I don't want one. I don't want one. I just don't want one. Okay. With that, that's in the room. That's present with us. Keep that with us. Okay. Keep that with us. So, like, I don't know. Well, I do know. I do know why people want tattoos a lot of times, or the expression or the desire or the longing. A lot of individuals who have neck tattoos. Okay, if you know somebody that has a neck tattoo, now I'm not saying this for you to be mean. You should be all super freaking nice about this. Um, but everyone I've ever met or heard about that had a neck tattoo was actually strangled by their own birth cord in the womb. There's an experience that's had in the womb, and it causes the body, the mind to want to do something. So there are reasons that we experiences we have with no real explanation of being able to be like, "Ooh, why did that and that correlate?" Okay, but it happens. It happens. And so I know I get the idea of wanting them on the outside, but for me, I want I want these I want these uh, uh, in my blood. I just don't want them in my skin. I want it in my blood. I want the I want to speak it. I want to harmonize it. I want to vibrate at it. My whole vibration in my whole body, I want it to be humming like a divine resonance. We speak of humming like a hummingbird. And the hummingbird is able to fly because it moves its wings in a figure eight pattern. It's not up and down. It's a figure eight pattern. It's very unique. A hum. Have you ever heard an engine hum? Usually it's a real good thing. It's like a purr. And the angels sing day and night. It is your resonance that is singing. It is the hum of your vibration of your chakras just sitting there. Just like, but you just got a good hum, a resonance, a song. Some people have had this experience. If you have, know, know that that you know, they talk about chosen one. Know that you've been chosen. There are individuals for no explanation, no intoxication of any sort, complete sober state of being, and they had music playing inside of their head. No electrical device. I'm not talking because some agency or thing is going. Just had me, just had music going, pleasant, whatever that pleasant music, music going, whatever that music is going on. It wasn't by choice; it was just there. And I have found that this was that attunement into divinity. We move into divinity while we're still very much human in the physical. It's a resonance that we move into. See, heaven is not classified to get in by a title. There's no group of people, no skin color, no nothing like that. No, well, I work for so and so. They said I get in. Nope, it's not how it works. You have to resonate at that frequency to move into that dimensional reality. The chakras align, the mind, the heart, the emotions, all of it connected and focused. This is what we learn to stabilize into regular coherence, living one vibrational energy so that at the moment of our physical exhaustion, our soul can simply enter that which it belongs to. Consider a beehive or an ant mound. If you have that scent, if you have that sound, if you have that look, if that's your vibration, then you're in like Flint. But if you look like anything else, if you sound like anything else, if it matters you're a giant or tiny, it doesn't matter. They're going to swarm it. The whole colony against the one. We don't care. We coming at until it's gone. Nature's pretty wise. And divinity, well, they said there's an option for those who are done with the human life. You can move into divinity and keep the human life. Live it out for many years. Have a long life. Don't end it soon. Have all the good times. Lots of good. Because every day is to harmonize into that stable frequency of love. And then the heart is as light as a feather. Physical flesh exhausts. And the entire future of all is changed instantly. I don't even need to know what the plan is afterwards. I know that's the next stage of evolution, like a caterpillar knows to go hang from a frickin' portion upside down. And here's some other interesting information in case you're not aware of. Did you know? Dude did a study. There's some details on it, and I could mention them. I could get them wrong. I could get it correct. I'm just going to leave the details out. But a dude did a study on caterpillars. He put a particular stress tester on the caterpillars. Now, every time he did the stress tester to the caterpillar, because he felt bad about it, he did it to himself. Okay? So, like, the dude wasn't all bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, anyways, it happened. And, um, and, however the rest of it goes, I'll definitely get it 1,000,000% wrong. What he found out is that from caterpillar, when that stress tester was introduced, through the liquid transformation into the butterfly wanted nothing to do with the stressor. Without even making contact with it, flew in the other direction. Somehow, through a pure liquid state of the caterpillar's transformation to become a butterfly, memory is retained of what had happened to it in its previous life. I don't know about you, but that's big. Because my whole life, I believe death state right there. Nope. Nope. Memory is still functional. That says a lot. That says a whole lot. That says a whole lot for our abilities as humans, spiritual, telepathic, interconnectedness, all sorts of possibilities on my mind. Most definitely Kurt B. It's funny, my son keeps trying to put a chakra program in my spooky 2 machine. Oh, that's cool, Owen. Yes. Yes. That's a great idea. Okay, okay. So I got this movie idea, right? So I'm always adding to it. So somebody gave a great idea, and I got to make sure and keep it here because I'll make sure and see it. Boom. Skulls Finger Salute. Wow, what a name. Yeah. Um. oh, okay, so in this movie, a part of the movie, it'd be like a mass amount of comedy, a bunch of scary, but comedy, but we gotta get scary in there, you know? And so, like, definitely, like, one of the factors in this film is where, like, people are like, Jesus Christ! And every single time somebody does, a different Jesus walks in. Like, a Mexican Jesus, black Jesus, white Jesus, all Jesus. If you got nationality, Chinese Jesus, like, all Jesus come out. And, but the reoccurring thing is that they every single time Jesus Christ literally walks into the room like on miracles. They're like, he's like, everybody's looking at him. He's like, "Well, you called for me," and they're like, "Nah, dude, we're not talking to you about you." He's like, "Oh," and then like he's dismissed. So like he literally is summoned into people's lives throughout the entire movie to create miracles for them, but they literally just send him away and don't even ask for anything because they don't realize what they actually did. So that's kind of like the but the dude was like, I just literally, no, he said, skull finger salute. Said, I'm about to puke through my phone. And I was like, that'd be great because somebody's like, oh, they're going to do this. But then, like, the return sender stamp was already fucking put down this morning for 2 consecutive hours, starting essentially, it doesn't matter what time. But, anyways, so it just comes right back, like blah, and then blah, it'd be hilarious. Oh my god, that's a fucking part to remember for a movie scene, and you gave that idea. Thank you. Thank you. You will see it in a movie near you. I don't know when. Don't tell Bob the babysitter's dead. No, don't tell the world before you patent it. No, see, I, I, I sent my book in for for the original language to be copyrighted under my name. Okay, I got that letter. It's out the way. Other than that, I give my ideas away. Let me tell you why I give my ideas away. Because I I'm not the one doing that. If somebody could take it and use it right now, do it. Use it. Be smart. Take an idea and run with it. I have ideas I don't have the resources to make happen. I could hold on to that till the end of my life, and my heart, it will be weighed down. But what I stare at every day is a mural of the weighing of the heart against the feather. And I am reminded constantly to lighten my load, whatever it is, whatever's causing stress, anxiety, pressure. Oh, I could do without it all. It's drizzling. Man, it was drizzling last night. Y'all were talking about rain yesterday. We got rain did last night. No drizzle right there. But I share it. I share because this is a co-creation. I do believe 100% that there is a divine father and a divine mother. And I believe that both the divine father and the divine mother are creators. That means if my mother and my father are creators, I'm a creator. And if I'm a creator, you're a creator. Does it mean that that's what you have the resources to do? Maybe, maybe not. But those resources can be generated by you within yourself using everybody else's experiences they're going to give you as fuel for the fire of the engine that's going to keep your life ever fueled forwards. There's an endless supply of energy. If you learn how to transmute that energy as in filtering water and then remineralizing it, enriching it with love, infusing it, and then allowing that to be one's energy. See, before when I was younger, I took my energy and I just did good deeds for everybody as much as I could. Here's my money, here's my time, da 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 da. Yeah, you could have whatever, whatever, whatever I got. I could make more, whatever, whatever, whatever. Good, good, good. But I kept giving, and I did not have emotionally. I had the physical, but I did not have the emotions. So then those were the days where anger truly had a, oh man, had a reign over my life. It was REIG and reign my, because I couldn't control when it was coming or happening. It just, I dealt with it as much as I could, and then, and now I've learned how to process things. I've learned how to say no. No means no. And if I have to explain what the word no means, that it also entails the word stop. Stop and no, I mean, those are pretty darn interchangeable in my book. So when that happens, well, then I'm not going to go teach somebody who's a teenager and up the difference between on, off, stop, no. I, I'm not giving them a speech lesson. I got no life lesson to give them. Their fucking brains are fried because they think they can control my life. They're sadly fucking mistaken. I mean, I don't know where they thought they were. Your life belongs to you. And your heart matters. Your desires matter. You wanting to go to the corner store and spend your last $1.25 to get a soda pop fucking matters. Go get it. You know what? If that's what makes you happy, go get it. There's other people they're gonna go buy crack or some other horrible thing with their money. You just want a freaking soda pop. You worked your ass off. My mom, she was so mentally controlled by everything that when it came down to just me and her and no one else is in our fucking life, no one else is there. They're all gone. It's just me and my mom. We go to the we get the grocery store in the new neighborhood that we're living. No one else we know is there. We're a whole new neighborhood. And we go to the store for the first time. And she goes over and she looks at the lettuce and she picks up the lettuce. She always gets a head of lettuce. She's going to get a loaf of bread. She's going to get a pack of ham, sliced ham, the Oscar Mayer one. She's going to get a pack of lettuce, iceberg lettuce. And because she likes her sandwich, just toasted bread, lettuce, some mayonnaise on that. That's what she likes. Maybe some mayonnaise, whatever, That's what she do. That's what she like. So that's what mom do. And she picks up the lettuce and she puts it back. I said, Mom, why'd you put it back? She said, it's more expensive. I said, screw that. You work your ass off. So do I. Get the lettuce, Mom. I don't care how much it is. No one in this world should think that little of themselves. It took me it took me 5 intense years, 10 total years to get my mom unmind controlled, to get my mom to be a free thinking person, do whatever the hell she wants. That took 10 years of just me and her hanging out every day. In those 10 years, my brother, he disowned me, so technically he doesn't see himself as my brother. So, but my brother, he came over one day. He said, I'm gonna talk to mom. I said, no, you're not. He pushed his way through the door. I said, bro, you ain't making it up them stairs. Let's go if you want to. Up to that point, I won every fight I ever fought with my brother. I'm younger by 7 years. I I didn't beat his ass. I crunched his nuts. That's what the fuck I did in every fight. The dude couldn't have a fucking kid with his wife for the first 7+ years they were married before they had their first kid. You want to come at me physically? There's one primary place I'm gonna go if you a man. I don't care. I know what you value. I don't want to fight. And he turned around and he left. It was me and my mom against the world. Everybody was mentally controlling my mom. And that's when I was like, no, nope. All I got to say is if Dr. Phil is listening, I'd like to, I'd like to smoke a joint or a blunt with Dr. Phil and have a great chat. I think that would be, I think it would just be a cool chat, period. I think that'd be a great chat. Great minds, they see things through a certain lens and they're going to hold to their opinion. They're going to hold to their sight because their opinion is not just an opinion, it's become a scientific measure. They've actually got some proof to see life through that lens. And I don't see life through that lens. So, in order to do so, by me listening to someone else, perhaps speaking personally, and then allowing them to filter what I'm saying or what I view through their lens, that allows me to see life through like a kaleidoscope. And if we can see all the different shades and colors, just like any proper satellite imaging system, we know that there's different grades of energy. And if we put it all together, it creates a real image we can start to fathom. Huh. Our minds have the same capability. Our eyes actually perform that very literal function with the environment that we see. Creation. We can create a new future all the time, every day. Here we are at the Bygetta 816 M6V. This is what my brain filled in. Here we are at the end of the world, of which there is the entrance of heaven. I they remade either they remade it or they're going to remake a new um um don't tell me don't tell mom the babysitter's dead. They did do I think they did or they're going to. I saw something on it that's some interesting stuff. Okay, gotcha. I'm totally keeping it on a positive note, but I guess maybe not. But um, I would have been in the middle, but my mom miscarried like in the 6 month or 4th month or something. She was pretty good well along. She was decent way along, and so that was pretty huge and life changing for her and life and everything. You know, that wasn't easy. Um, and it was interesting because I was speaking with one individual, and I bet, but anyways, yeah, yeah, having I mean, if you want me the underdog, and people have the advantage on you, this is what's happened to me throughout my life, and this is why the spirit told me to remember the scrapper that I am in the most loving and good way. Just keep them in your back pocket. Don't go nowhere without that scrapper old attitude of yours. Don't forget that old pre 5-year-old self. Oh my gosh. Who was the feisty one? I mean, that was a bunch of fun and good, but oh boy, I tell you what. Uh, and But this world does not play fair. They use their advantages and they gloat during their victory. Okay. And then they say, don't feel that way. You could feel however you want to. So your feelings belong to you. So I could do whatever I want to every single day, and your feelings are invalid through a bunch of these malicious words. They are malicious. They are malicious, intended words. They have an intent to do harm from the start, and they want to keep the advantage in their court 100% of the time, because if they succeed, that means you failed. Because if you succeed, then they fail. That doesn't work for them. Hmm. This is the reality I'm growing up. So my scrapper fucking pre-5-year-old self said, "This is the fucking world I'm dealing in. Bring it, motherfucker. Let's go. I'll take a fucking cojones or throw whatever else you want. You want to fuck with me? Get out of my way, and then we'll be good. You want to be my friend? Great. You want to fuck with me? You'll find out. Let's go." That's how I've been. I put that away from the age of 5 to the age of 41. And the Spirit said, "Bring them back." I said, "Are you sure? Send me some omens, let me know." Click, click, click. Oh, okay, okay. I remember that guy. I know right where I put him. He never got lost. He never got killed. He got put on pause. You want to stand by. Oh, that's where we went with life. Let's see here. My screen is half correct. That's got to be crap. That can't be accurate. I'm not saying you can see this, but am I fucking insane? Look, it says select two objects that are the same shape. Square 5MC. Maybe that's a shadow. They were using shadows on that one. It looked like a fucking hexagon, but it was a square. Okay, cool. I was gonna show the freaking screen. I was like, "Do you fucking see this shit?" No, yeah, look there. There we go. Guess people are getting smarter with all their AI bot stuff, having to increase shadow measures for assessing whether you're human or not. My star sign, on a technicality, I was born December 23rd, 1984. So on a technicality, that under the correct stars or whatever will go to Sagittarius. And but in what we calculate, I fall under Capricorn. I find Capricorn is connected to Set. Set came into my life to be a guardian, and when I learned about Set, I learned he's been a guardian with me throughout my life. And that's why a lot of certain things happened, was because of his spiritual presence that was limiting my options, that was causing certain things to happen, that was allowing things, these things, but not allowing those things. And so once I learned that, I was like, "Oh, okay, those are my boundaries. Those are my limits in life. I could do anything over here, but that's not something to mess with." Okay, that's what I'm fucking looking for. I'm not. I don't know what I'm not, but I'm a bunch of whatever. But no, I learned from him, and essentially that's where the clothing really kind of came in. Was from Set. Set taught me to dress this way. Um, and it's interesting because the Divine Mother there is a there is a sacred ancient text, Egyptian, Kemetic, legitimate, and I have it. It's a portion of it says that um, it says she saying to the initiate, to you, to the person, to her child, not the initiate, her child. You'd be her child, but to her child, she says, "I have clothed you in terror. I have clothed you in terror." What are we connecting with this with? Halloween. You have a child dressing up as something scary. There's nothing fucking scary about it. If you knew what was under the outfit, it's a bundle of joy and a world of awesomeness. It's life. There's nothing bad under there. It's just clothing. I dressed you in terror. It doesn't mean that you are terror. Because in this world, if you're not dressed up, if you're not looking like something scary, then you easy prey. Mentally, which translates into physically, which means they can be a bully. Bully says, "Ooh, I got those other two things in check. Let's go fuck with them because I can get something from them." And they're wasting your time, causing energy to go this way. You're trying a good deed, trying to help somebody to learn better. They didn't want to get better. They knew what they were doing from the start, and they're using you till you're all dried up, and then they're going to move on to the next person. Why and how? Because I lived through it by other people, from one to the next. That's what my spiritual journey was really about, was learning what the world is like, learning what people are like in their own homes. It's different when all you do is see somebody and you talk to them each day at work or something like that, but it's totally different when you connect with somebody real to the heart. And that's all I got to give. That's all I got to give. Everything else is a waste of time. Uh, You want to chase an illusion or some fad or what looks cool? Dude, Fish Cat, I don't know if Fish Cat is here. If Fish Cat is here, she said she got a labradorite necklace. She wore it to something, and there was an experience, okay? All I'm going to say is I have an experience to share on this, and this is real. The I was at the metaphysical shop, and they had stones galore, and named and separated, and plenty to where I could actually create some portals and do some stuff with. They're still available for sale. Everything's for sale. Look at this, look at that, check that out, whatever the case, all sorts of cool stuff. It was awesome. Some little fantasy magical land, legit, man. Transport to Egypt and all the sort. And and a lady comes in and she goes, "Oh, I wish I could afford more stones." And I do not think I said it to her because my brain was really processing. But what I wound up really through and through processing from that in my mind immediately was, you are not given money to be able to afford more stones, because if you had more stones, you wouldn't be able to balance the energy properly. You would create chaos that would implode and hurt your life. So there's a limit to how much you can get right now. For my particular journey, and I was at her point at one point as well. I'm not saying, I didn't start out where I am here, but when I was at when that moment happened, I self reflected immediately, looking at what I've been able to do and work with, and I'm in a massive appreciation and like, wow, look, it was just opened up to me. What would it cost me thousands or hundreds or whatever, how much of a dollars to do or figure or I got to walk into it and work with it as if it was my personal playground. And I did my best to keep it all good and clean and proper so other people would come and check it out. It was awesome. I had a portal, I had multiple portals set up. People come in, they knock a portion of the portal down. Sometimes it ricocheted, knock a good portion of the whole darn thing down. And I'd be like, it's okay, no worries. I'll put it back together. They're my Legos. If I could get them to stand up once, I'm sure I could get them to stand up again. Don't worry about it. It's my fun. I'm having fun with it. Literally, I would have a calm reaction. And people are like, I don't understand how you can be calm right now. And this is what I figured out. The portal, the stones, the area, it is set up fundamentally so that it's set up so that access can be gained to that particular locale of wherever that may be. Once that's been taken care of and done, there's no reason to keep the door open. The only way to open up the next door is to create the next portal. So what must happen? We must knock some stones down. There was one point where I had the same stones in the same spot set up, and man, it went for like it seemed months without nobody running into it. Whatever I was supposed to do, I was missing the mark. I was missing the mark. Maybe it was just waiting for somebody. Maybe I set it up and maybe it was hitting the mark and maybe just everything hadn't been done yet. But then all of a sudden, seemingly out of nowhere, that thing, maybe it's that thing, and boom, it's getting knocked down and set back up, and boom, knocked down and sit back up, and boom, knocked down and because I was like, boom, I knew what to do now. I was doing this, and then I was moving on to that, and I was moving on to that, and then I was moving on to that, and I was moving on to that. So it was allowing just constant progress and constant progress. Oh, portals, changing the future. I just I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness, bro. Like my mom died, I had my wife and all that. That left, lost all that, went through tragedy. Like I paid attention to some things in life. My mom left me some really great clues I've held on to, and she's communicated a lot in the afterlife. The only way she could communicate with me is because I followed my heart, and my heart said, I'm going to follow what hearing within my mind. I know it's not my thought, it's not an external voice, but this seems divine. My heart feels good, my stomach feels aligned. I'm not hearing bad things. You know what? Here's the way things are right now. I'm taking a note on evaluation. That's a good idea. I'm going to do it. I do the idea. I write down the results. I look at my situation. I write down my new situation. Has it improved or is it worse? It's improved and it's a lot better. Hmm. All right. Next, next, next. With a repetition of results, well, then there's some pretty sound good advice. I don't know where or how, but divine and God and angels and shit. And I grew up believing in all of it. So love said, believe, love believes all things. That's what the book that I believed solely for 20 plus 27 years of my life. 22. Okay, I was reading like at 5, like really going at 5 and all that stuff. But love believes all things. All things. It believes everything. That's a complete change of mentality of what human life is about, of what we consciously accept for each other. But the book also said, be no part of the world. So it looks like that advice goes hand in hand together. That's something I must do. It's not something I can make other people do. It's not something I can convince of other people. I experienced it. That's my action to do. And so thanks for being family, and thanks for being a friend, and thanks for, as much as I may be a reminder, thank you for being a reminder that there's some good in this world. Because we go too often without seeing that. And that certainly creates a stale environment, kind of stagnant waters. And it's only going to create mold on that. Um, Owen, do I see her through dreams? I had one vision. It was within 6 months of her passing, and I never had went to sleep in the middle of the day. Was not a thing for me. I was my age was something different, and Owen had asked if I see my mom in dreams, and in at this particular juncture in my life, that was back in 2012, I believe, and I got tired out of nowhere. I told my wife at that time, I said, I'm gonna go to sleep, and I went and laid down. I went to sleep, and I had a vision, and I saw her, and my body moved to her body, and my bottom legs wrapped around, and my arms wrapped around, like her upper abdomen were head to head, like next to each other, and it's within my mind. I know it's my mother's energy. I know it's my mother's energy. It's her. It's her. It's her. It's her. There's no doubt. And my face was next to hers, and within my mind said, as soon as I try to see her face, it'll be over. That's what I was told. And I this is early in my spiritual life, so my patience was not very. My patience was thin, and so I pulled back. I enjoyed a few moments, but I pulled back rather sooner. I felt, and then later I enjoyed a good long hold, hug and whatnot, and an embrace, and I pulled back. And as soon as I did get view of her, boom, I woke up, and so I had one about her, and that one was enough. That was enough for me, because that was essentially what that was saying. What that was, I found in ancient Chinese and Japanese lore, mythology, however you want to put it. But they also have the understanding very much that a deceased loved one does have a heavenly right, an afterlife right, to visit one person of their choosing, um, and they'll come to them through a dream, and it'll be like I learned about that after the fact because they made a movie called, oh gosh, Among the Gods, something like that. Maybe I have to. It's all subtitled. There's no English version of it. So subtitles are original Chinese or Japanese. I think it's Chinese, and Along with the Gods, I think it's called. Along with the Gods, there's a part one and part two. Um, and but it explained the whole understanding of it, and I was like, yep, Yep, that's what I experienced. And so that was massively amazing. Um, and then after that, that was the connection. And after the connection was made, communication could happen pretty much any time, whenever it was needed. I would get omens. I would be inclined to stare at something longer than normal. And I'm like, I already saw that, I already read that, I already looked at that. But I'm inclined to just gaze in this direction longer than normal. And then I observed something that normally I wouldn't have picked up. And that observation was a thought, caused a thought to happen, and the thought transformed into a lesson, and the lesson was like, whoa, I see the whole world in another, with another lens on now. A whole nother lens of an understanding. And it was like another lens, and another lens, and another lens. And that was a huge portion of the birth of the language. And if you want a copy of it, you can send me an email at yahoo.com and I'll send you a free PDF copy. Or you can go to amazon.com and buy yourself a copy, etc. It's Setchra. And but really, it has its own language. It's not a language to say hello or goodbye or anything like that. It's a language of experience. Um, Pretty much every single word has an emotional connection with it. And so these are new words with emotional connections. And so for me, it was like to be Setra's, to be Set, the dark, the chaos, Ra, the light, the order, and in the middle is our chi, our chakras, our own order of energy, and we can use the light or the dark, we can use the order or the chaos as appropriately to what we need as the alchemist that we are. For any good alchemist, you need your two primary ingredients, and from that, you can create everything you need. Um, to your other question, Owen, there's a there's an answer to that. You know, I gotta say, I do. I feel on my spiritual journey. There's one person said, "Could you just disappear already?" And like, I feel like I became a ghost. I really feel like I became a ghost. I have things that jingle on me all the time. This never comes. These don't come off. Those are on. And somehow I'll walk right up behind somebody and they will jump. I'm being, not physically jump, but they will be startled and surprised, shocked that anybody was there. And actually, that's the truth, is that we're all very much invisible. But in these human bodies, we can be seen. And we do everything we can to be seen by somebody, to be seen by anybody, because we're just looking for camaraderie. I don't care who you are. You could be the nastiest person. There's a group of people, and they're all nasty, and they have their camaraderie. And we seek that. We seek to be seen, not just as a image of things, but for the emotions that we're feeling. Look, I was in religion for 27 years. I'm not praising it here, and I'm not just being mean about it. But I watched the machine work on people so that it erased who they are. They found somebody that was despondent. They weren't doing good in life. So they came to the religion. And then the religion said, here's this and here's that, and learn this and do that, and change this and change that, and be like this. Hold on, not just yet. Right, hold on, get these clothes on you. Ah, now you look and sound like us. You fit in, just like us. Quack, 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 quack. Yep, you got it. All right, let's go. Okay? But what they didn't do is they never addressed the wounded child. They never addressed the wounded invisible ghost that everybody else been ignoring. If they ain't been seen, then that person, it don't matter how much good happens, it don't matter how much you give them, it don't matter how many distractions, it doesn't matter what you teach them. If their heart is not doing good, then their whole life is shattered. And that's where I saw they missed the heart and they went straight to follow me and do what I say. God damn it. The number one magical lesson I learned after all these years, after literally full memory recall, third eye popped open, I can see it all now. And that number one lesson was revealed to me so late in the game because it was the first thing that I already did with my life from the start. You must first work on your heart. And once your heart is pure, once your heart is solid, once it is innocent and love, go on that magical journey and learn all those skills because now love is everything that's going to be created. Love is everything that is going to be produced. You don't even have to think about it. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to be nervous about what the results are going to be. Whatever happens was divine resonance. And you know what? Divine resonance sure does bring in a crash or two to foul up man's plans because they say, you know what? You're on a better spiritual route. Let's change things. And so man doesn't succeed because your spiritual journey is more important than their schemes of money, selfishness, greed, gluttony, or any other selfish aspect. The divine is more powerful than man or money. And your heart is your personal phone to connect. Without a pure heart, you're lost. With a pure heart, you got your true north every day of your life. No matter how lost you may look, sound, or feel, you're going in the correct direction. You're going to show up exactly where you were supposed to be, right on time. See you later, Owen. You know, actually, Kimberly Murphy, that is a very powerful thing in life that I learned to access, and it is belief. It is changing my was changing my beliefs. I I had found more that was available to believe in, and this belief didn't cancel out the other beliefs. So the change wasn't removal, the change wasn't destruction, the change was more like a puzzle piece so we can get things to really come together properly. And that is not easy to do because we usually find ourselves rooted in one formula that we tie to success. So we use the same formula to get to success in every single situation. That's our habits, our attitudes, the way we deal with things, the way we operate with people, the way we respond, all of it. When I was young, I did not calculate. I ran into it. And if it fell down, well, good, I keep going. And if it didn't, well, I better go around, up or down, or pick my battle, one or the other. I got some options. But the results were not all that great because there was a lot of constant smashing, 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 smashing. I learned destruction is an important part of creation in life. However, there are many situations where transmutation is a lot better option than destruction. The word renaissance is one example of transmutation without destruction. There's a lot of research there if you've never looked into that. Thanks, Owen. I appreciate that. And really, when I was coming up with Cetra, it was it was more of something that anybody could don rather than one person. And one thing I learned very early in creating fashion is if you're trying to sell a product, wear it. I mean, that's the way to do it. Um, I'm not trying to tell people to wear more bracelets or anything like that. This is just me and who I am. Um, Acquiring stones is going to have a change in your field of energy. At first, acquiring stones can cause disruptions in life. They can bring complete blessings. Those disruptions can actually be part of the blessings, which usually they are, because they're contending. There's new energy in the atmosphere that people that are psychics. I'm not talking about any special, person hired by nobody, but there are average people in our world, more to count than would admit, that are psychic. That's a freaking fact. I know that for a fact. Took me many years to figure that one out. But as long as they don't admit, then there is only the case of you making things up, which is why I continually say just walk away from things. That's what I do. I walk away from it. I don't contend with it. I don't argue with it. I'm not laying a case for it. Nope. I recognize what I'm within. I recognize what's happening, and it is time to make a move whenever that time or situation for whatever's going on in whatever situation. Because everything is going to be a little bit different. And that's why, as the alchemist, you have the ability to adapt, change, shift, transmutate from energy to substance of what you need to happen. You can make a difference in your own life. You know, it'd be great to have some big old savior come down from the clouds and usher in a new world order. But you know, that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It, somebody's going to disagree somewhere, and somebody's going to fight against it. I mean, there's a reason why there's our Earth is, kind of set up structurally, people and, all that stuff. Governments all in wrong, countries, all that. And it take a whole envoy of like saints, like the whole army of saints, every host of possible saints in the world, and Celtic and Thor and Ordine and Frigg and Jesus and every and Krishna, and all of them, man. Tinkerbell, fucking Pan's got to be the Pan's real. Pan's fucking real. They all gonna fucking be there. They all. I mean, if we gonna usher in a new world, they all gotta show up. And guess who they are? They're you and me, him and her. It's the invisible you that nobody sees, but you see them. You see them. You see them and you hear them every day. That's your heart. That's your heart. That's your heart. And it says, don't let that happen. Don't fold under that. And you say, well, I'll go along with the lie because I don't want to hurt their feelings. I don't want to cause a problem. I used to be like that. And I was busy living other people's lives. That's why people had to remind me to be me. Because I was trying to be a kiss ass, being the good guy of what everybody told me spirituality is about being. Just fucking being a slave to the bully, taking a beating, and saying, I'll take another, sir. And when I learned that the Divine Mother acts in the moment that she is considered truly within the heart, when I felt that peace rain over my own body, whoo. Now, everything else I heard before was a bunch of man's words, but these were words of power. And they actually caused me to feel different. We are sound. The Word was God. God was the Word. Spoken, He spoke. Sound, vibration, energy. frequency, alignment, and coherence. That's what we are moving towards. And so I thank you for being you in this world, bringing some light to it, some joy to it, some happiness to it, some laugh to it, some honesty to it. Ooh, that's a rare treat. Trick or treat. The trick was I was giving you truth and you were expecting a lie. Ouch. Sorry? Not sorry. I think that's how that goes. Yes, I am using, great question. I am using a different camera. I So the phone I was using that had better visuals, the audio, it's continually horrible with YouTube. It's low, it don't work. I had I don't want to buy a mic at this point because I did hook up another speaker that has a great audio. It worked offline through YouTube, but when I tried to use it through the live, it gave the same low feedback um, in on that particular device with the better visuals. So people couldn't hear me. We were having audio problems for 2 days consecutively. I think going into a third day, maybe almost. And so now I say, you know what? This one, I put this one on that I'm currently using for YouTube, and using the other one on TikTok here. And so this sounds perfect and loud enough and normal, just like it should be. So we are definitely sacrificing visual for audio. And shoot, if you got a phone that's just, I don't know, maybe it's got a cracked screen, but it still works, charges, I mean, and does a filming good or whatever, shoot, I'd be happy to upgrade. But I was talking about financial things earlier, and so that's not in the cards. And as I mentioned, I want to say this again because there's certainly some people watching, but I do not think a microphone might fully fix it. It might, but it's a shot in the dark. I might plug it in. It might not even, I could have the same horrible results with it. So up to this point, I've been doing great without needing a microphone, and I don't know why YouTube's audio. And I'm sure if I was using my laptop and I had the and I everything would be great and flowing just smooth. But I am greatly limited in my resources, and I would naturally be feeling a certain way right now. But I have a lot of people who have literally created a different situation for me right now, so I'm not in that. So I'm not feeling that way. I'm not entertaining that. We got solutions moving forward, and that's where my mind is, anyways. But yeah, great observation. I don't know if you're still here, reptiloid, reptiloid, humanoid, but they did ask. Your decor is very interesting. What is the piece with the best story? The piece with the best story. Well, my ends right here. I mean, I've created other staffs, and but this one took a lot of took a whole lot more than just carving, and really has a lot of energy in the guy in totality. D, it's more of a her, much more of a her. But like you can put your hand like right here from the staff, and you can literally feel energy pulsing off. Um, it doesn't have a battery. It doesn't have, any source of power other than natural elements. I mean, if you include a magnet and copper wire is natural, but enough. um, but there's one kiddo, and they said, "Oh, is that your total pull?" And I looked at it and said, "You know what? Actually, you're correct. It is my totem pole. Believe it or not, that is my totem pole, because every single one of those carvings I end up doing, they carry. There's layers of understanding of how to apply so much, and it's really processing that into the body and being able to literally resonate at that frequency. That's where the achievement comes in, is when you learn how to resonate at that frequency. But until you can perfect that frequency in your own being, in your own stability, then that's why that lesson keeps coming back around, keeps coming back around, keeps coming back around. Because it's like, are you stable yet? Nope. Keeps getting knocked down. Keeps getting knocked down. Keeps getting. Oh wait, they're not up yet. Hold on. Okay. Keeps getting knocked down. But as soon as you keep standing up, it's gonna be like, wait, it stood up. Huh. Oh, there ain't no reason to go back on it. I'll wait for the next person. And that's why at that point different actions in life open up, interactions with people. It's amazing. Oh gosh, I can't remember it. There was something with the phones or something I was doing, and I was dealing with something on a regular basis, but it's like, whatever, it's working. I'll whatever, I'll deal with it. And then I did something spiritually inclined and understanding and aware of, and I did it. And literally within 2 hours' time, I get this idea. I go to this spot, I pull out what it is, I plug it into whatever else I'm working with, and I'm like, holy, it freaking worked. It worked. It was the solution. I had it the whole time. Oh my gosh. I hadn't done the thing yet. I hadn't learned how to resonate at a stable frequency so as to move on. Once I was stable enough, okay, I figured it out. I can move on now. This is the hidden code of life that people are completely unaware of. This is what I continually enjoy coming on here and sharing with you and talking about, from every single aspect and angle because all of life has something to grasp out of it, to learn how to use your own magic, your own connection with nature, with what is natural. And we can create things that are not natural. We are creators. You are a creator. The last time I checked, God did not have his creations judged. It wasn't any divine choice to judge their creations. That was their child. Every divine story I ever read, I mean, there's a couple, bad titans out there and they kill their kids and stuff, and there's reasons for that. But that's not what I'm talking. On the big cross world ancient wise of understanding, you have a child, and the child has their life and celebrated. If the child's life wreaks havoc for the world, then the world's going to do something about that. There's got to be stability to some degree. Oh, there's stories of all sorts of things, or no one should have been able to do this, and that shouldn't have been able to happen. So this guy goes over there and gets with them and comes up with this idea and cooks up that and creates 5 extra days. And oh, now we had 5 extra gods. Oh, whoops. You said I couldn't do it in your time space, so I did it in my own dimensional area. And now it's part of reality. Fair question, Antonio Meek. It was mentioned kindly. I said, "What are you supposed to be?" And I'm supposed to be me, or whatever somebody needs to see. I've I was a Jehovah's Witness for 27 years. Was married. I had 2 daughters. My mom died. She starts talking to me from the afterlife. I start giving it a go. Well, don't you know? Stuff's working out. It's good. It's not bad. Nobody believes me. They think I'm evil. Bible said, dust my feet off and move on. Okay, that's what I'm doing. I know it's working, and this is more solid, and it's actually exposing a lot of things that I was unaware of. And I followed my mother's voice because I could feel her vibration in my own heart, and I could connect these newfound thoughts in my mind that I didn't read a book to get that information. I don't know how I know that. I It's coming to me. So I wrote and I wrote and I wrote and I wrote. And over the course of 8 years, I wound up publishing a book, Citra. It's available on Amazon.com, or you can email me at cetra@yahoo.com. That's cetra@yahoo.com. Plain, that's that easy. No numbers or whatever like that. And I'll send you a free PDF copy. And if you want to shoot a donation, great. My GoFundMe is connected to my YouTube channel and TikTok channel. Otherwise, no worries. All groovy. and I wrote that book with the ideas that were coming into my mind because I knew if I continued to follow these ideas, that while they may be successful, I'm going to forget who I am. And so there was a point in my journey, and I was with someone else. The years had moved on. I was pushed out of the old life. Nobody wanted me, not my wife. Or that was all of that was over. I was literally homeless and living in the woods, and wound up finding a whole nother life to live. I decided to follow that vibration and that signal of divine truth that I felt within. Because the last time I checked, that voice that all the prophets, that Jesus, Shiva, everybody walked by, that was what they felt and knew inside. It wasn't what anybody told them. People could guide them, they could give them ideas for what they could do or should do, but that's their heart. They got to they followed their heart, and their heart connected them with what they valued the most. And what they valued the most, I bet it's no different than myself. Who am I? I'm a happy person. I'm no part of this world because this world knows misery and chaos and mourning and fighting and strife as family, as blood, and as kin. To the end they go with their stories and their actions. That's not me. So I'm happy because I know who I am. Know thyself, and everything else is revealed to you. What you really don't want, what you really do want, what you actually enjoy, and what you actually do not enjoy. At this point, I made a decision a long time ago. I'm not going to suffer a moment in my day emotionally beyond what I've already limited of my kindness to give to somebody. I know that much. And so that lets me be happy because I know what I gave revealed the truth to me. And the truth, I think, is a beautiful thing in a world full of a sea of lives. Just lies. So truth is the gold. And that truth usually is your own life. It's not others. It's not others. And when I learned all that, I said, well, I'm happy to learn, but I know what to follow every day till my next incarnation, wherever that may be. Fall, fall, fall away from this planet. I'm going home, 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 home. Hee go home. Every day, I usually go through what are the five emotions. Generally speaking, every day, I have at least a moment I cry. I have a moment where I'm happy. Mm. Anger really don't crop up on the normal in a as soon as it does, I wind up working on a solution to get it out of there. Whatever the other couple of emotions are, I'm pretty sure I'll watch a movie or play a game or something and gravitate emotionally that way. And that's actually a divine sacred reality that for the average individual, that is not something that they can go through and be stable. To resonate multiple emotions is really pulling the chakras out of position to be able to restabilize those chakras and keep things aligned and be able to work with the next emotion. Things are going to get out of line. Bring that back in alignment. Work on that next one every single day. Every single day. Every single day. We have the emotions. We don't get to just cancel them out, but we can learn how they do not have priority on what we choose to do. We can put them in their correct place. Interesting for my own, in that comment that I just made, the way I made it, I connected the ego with emotions. Just, just in that. I know what other people are saying, but my mind's looking at it. You see it. And that's why I love life. Because life changes. Just like the weather. It's going to change. And you're going to feel different. There's a particular invocation I go over. And it says, see if I can remember off the top of my head, light, darkness, love, hate, life, death, return to me, return to me. And it says this over and over and over in a series of poetic portions. Light, darkness, love, hate, life, death, return to me, return to me. So essentially, everything, I'll draw everything back to me. I had to really think about this for a while. It wasn't easy to just, read this and say this. I had to figure out how how do how do I agree with this? How can I agree with this? I mean, I don't want hate in my life. I don't want death in my life. I don't want darkness in my life. Huh. Well, if I focus on light and darkness, then my mind naturally comes up as the yin yang. That's the masculine and the feminine. It's the energies coalescing within our own being. And uh, everything returned. Love believes all things. That's what the Bible said. Huh. Huh. So if I receive everything back, then I can be who I am. I can accept my sadness. I can accept my anger. I can accept my laughter. I can accept whichever emotion comes my way because I own it. It belongs to me. Man, it's nice to know it belongs to you because when you know it belongs to you, you in turn know what does not belong to you. What does not belong to me? Other people's emotions, their state of being, their lessons, everything. No, I mean, well, my immediate things here in my own being, and that's my own perspective. My mind is my own mind. Your mind is your own mind. Please do not follow me. Follow your heart. Don't follow anybody else. Follow your heart. Your heart is going to help reveal your true character, your true self, your indwelling intelligence, the character of your indwelling intelligence that can overcome any obstacle. And I want to see that person in the world. That's who I look forward to meeting. Who that that's the idea here for me. Everybody's a bit of gold. Everybody's special. Everybody's got something that they can become. Some people may be older in their life and they think, oh, well, my years are fewer and I can't do that and this and this. Why can't you? If that's what you want to do, go do it. You, at least get your hands wet with it, man. Go play with it. Do whatever you want. It doesn't matter what age you are. If your heart is drawing you towards something, go do it because you're going to be aching to do it even later. That's where I learned all my frustration came in life. Frustration turned into anger. That's where it came in because I just wanted to go get a little something for myself. I don't care. I'll work for you all day. I don't care. I'll do this for you all day. I don't care. I'll sit there and listen to you drone on about all the bad stuff all day. I'm a happy person. I'm going to go home and be happy. You know what? That didn't work for me. Because when I went and I spent time, this is years ago, man. This is 2000. I don't fucking know what year. 2016, 17, 18, somewhere around there. Maybe. No. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Anyways, and I was going to hang out with somebody every single day, and they were so angry. Nobody came over to help them with anything. Nobody came over to just, hang out and be nice or anything like that. Everybody came to take advantage of them or use them or something like that. So I went every single day and I just listened to him and hang out with him. And he droned on every day about negative stuff, negative stuff, negative stuff. And I just be my happy self and hey, well, somebody's here and not taking advantage of you, like maybe you'll see that one day and then he's not complaining about that. He'll feel different. And you know what happened after months of doing that? I became upset. I was upset. I was getting irritated at things for no no real good reason other than I had polarized my magnetism, my regular daily doings with negativity and drowning out of sorrows and sadness and woe is me 24/7. And that's what I turned into. I was like, man, good intentions. Some of the worst atrocities have occurred because of somebody's good intentions. That's why proper planning, real dedication to something that you love, who you are, and following that heart matters more than just taking somebody else's advice on what you should do. I had, this is real story. I had good intentions, so I took the advice from somebody younger than me and I did what they suggested, and my life became 10 times worse. Case in point. So, big realization is that the divine archetypes are stages that we can move through as human in divine resonance. Okay, Shiva is a form of that divine resonance. I was resonating, I have been shifting from one divine resonance to another one, fulfilling a purpose and then shifting to another one, fulfilling a purpose and then shifting to another one. And the the aspect to to Prajwada Dararia is I did go somewhere, and this was on the account of somebody else, not my own account, and they said that what I was for them, what they were feeling was more so Nataraja. That aspect of Shiva currently is what is coming from me. I'm in that form of Nataraja, which is essentially the form of Shiva where he's dancing. Whoa, it's cool. Take care, Jim. Cool, cool. Yeah, I email you. Much love, bro. I said Jim. I know I said Jim. I hope I said Jim because I'm reading. I know I do. I do. I do. It's Jim. It's Jim. I know. Gabe's Skyline 648. I had two daughters and they passed away a few years ago. So there's the answer to that. Where they asked if I had any children. If you're still here, Chris, I'm scrolling up to see uh, who was removing your comments, because if I know, then I can do something about that. And if I scroll up, I hit that twice, it showed me back down. I know I still got a couple of moderators I need to get out of here. They kind of come and go. But I tried to look, so we'll figure it out. But on another circumstance, just in case, the reason why I was looking through is I do have certain keywords which will block the entire comment from being there. There is Jesus in other words, and the reason why I put that and other words in the block list is because if I put it in there, then all I get is comments about Jesus this, Jesus that, Jesus that, Jesus that, over and over and over and over. And then, like, I mean, for months, I had it off. And then I was like, you know what? I'll let it be. I took it off. Okay. And then, literally, that day, it was so bad that somebody else had to ask, could you please stop saying the same thing over and over? I mean, like, if you just said it once, that's fine. But So there are some things in the auto dealio where it might not be a moderator. It could be a particular keyword that's in that list, and I don't remember that list. Been a wonderful day, and I hope everybody has a very blessed day. And till tomorrow, we'll be live, uh, definitely by 4 a.m. If not, we may be live by like 3:33. And so I'm working on that. We're switching up. I was up, I was 2 minutes as I jumped on at 3:35 this morning and started going over the blessings essentially like at 4:05 because of some technical difficulties. So we still smoothing some things out, but at least YouTube had decent audio through and through. I didn't see one complain about that, so that problem solved. Much love, many blessings from one to all. Until we see you tomorrow, much love and many blessings. Tama Hawaii.